Hi, my name is Susan Morong and I'm a childcare support worker for Nottingham City Early Years. This information is brought to you by Nottingham City Council Early Years Service and will give you an insight into what is involved and what you need to do to become a self-employed childminder. So what does being a childminder involve? A childminder is a person who is self-employed and registered with the Office for Standards in Education, Children's Services and Skilled, known as Ofsted, or a childminder agency. You will be registered to look after one or more children to whom you are not related for reward and must be 18 years of age or over. Childminders care for children on domestic premises. This is in someone's home, usually the childminder's own home. A childminder without domestic premises is a childminder who works solely from somewhere other than a home, like a community centre or village hall. Childminders without domestic premises cannot work from their or anyone else's home at any time under this type of registration. You will care for at least one individual child for a total of more than 2 hours in any day. This does not have to be a continuous period of time. Any childminders who want to work with 5 or more other adults will need to register as childcare on domestic premises. Up to 4 people, including childminders and assistants, can work together under a single childminder registration without it being classed as childcare on domestic premises. If 5 or more people are working together to provide care, this is considered childcare on domestic premises, and you must register under that category instead of as a childminder. Childminders must complete the requirements for the Early Years Foundation stage. Nottingham City Council Early Years provide a package of training which involves first aid and safeguarding and introduction to the Early Years Foundation stage. This information can be found on the Nottingham City Early Years website, where you will find a range of training courses for colleagues who work with early years. Being self-employed, you need the skills required to run a small business. You will need to keep policies updated and keep track on money coming in and going out. You will be responsible for your own personal and professional development and required to have a good level of literacy and numeracy. The Early Years Foundation stage states that providers should have sufficient understanding and use of English to ensure the well-being of children in their care. For example, settings must be in a position to keep records in English, to liaise with other agencies in English, to summon emergency help, and to understand instructions such as those for the safety of medicines and of food hygiene. Recommended levels of literacy and numeracy skills could include O-level, GCSE grade A to C, or adult literacy and numeracy level 2. Ofsted is responsible for the registration and inspection of childminders. Ofsted's legal powers are set out in the Childcare Act 2006. Inspecting registered childminders helps to improve the quality of childcare and early education by making judgments about the quality of the care that childminders offer and recommendations about how to improve this. Childminders must provide evidence of their continued suitability and show how they meet requirements at inspection. Childminders who fail to meet or fully meet the specific requirements at inspection are given actions to improve. Where there are serious concerns, Ofsted takes other enforcement action to bring about improvement. And now I'd like to talk about childminder agencies. A childminder agency is an organisation that is able to register childminders in England and may provide a range of services to its members and parents, introduced by the Department for Education in 2013. Childminder agencies are required to register with Ofsted and to be inspected by them. Registration allows an individual or an organisation to operate as a childminder agency. It is Ofsted's responsibility to ensure that only those who are suitable and ready to operate as an agency are registered. Childminder agencies are obliged by law to ensure a childminder's suitability, including, where appropriate, their capacity to deliver the statutory requirements of the early years foundation stage. They are to support the training and development of childminders and help parents find and work with a suitable childminder, to support and improve the quality of provision and monitor the standard of care provided by the childminders they register. The role of the local authority. Families Information Service provide information for those interested in becoming a childminder. They support parents to access childcare services and also provide a gateway for newly registered childminders so that you can share your details to support with advertising. Families Information Service will send you information about upcoming childminder briefings to help you to book onto the most convenient one for you. They provide information about registered childcare to parents by telephone, post or online. Once you are registered with Ofsted, you can be included in this service. The Early Years team provide advice, guidance and support to childminder applicants through the childminder briefing and mandatory training. We also provide registered childminders with professional development linked to the Early Years Foundation stage and provide advice and guidance with regards to the quality of childcare. Childminder briefing includes information around the Early Years Foundation stage. This is the statutory framework all childminders must work within. They support with advice around safety checking your home prior to registration and inspection, statutory training and booking information, Ofsted registration application process, also information about exclusive funding opportunities and the opportunity to ask questions. As this is an important professional role, there are specific statutory training requirements which must be completed before you can register with Ofsted. Nottingham City Early Years team have developed a comprehensive training and support programme which includes all that is needed to satisfy the statutory requirements and much more to support you with your day-to-day role and your professional development. The training element of the programme runs throughout the year to enable you to fit it in with your commitments and complete your registration with Ofsted as soon as possible. This includes the childminder information workshops, safeguarding and paediatric first aid. Childminder briefing. The briefing will give you information and a step-by-step guide to becoming an independent, self-employed childminder. This part of the programme is free and you are under no obligation to continue if you feel that being an independent childminder is not for you. Thank you for taking time to listen to this short vodcast. For more information, contact Families Information Service on 0115 876 5910. You can also look at starting a childminder business following the link on this slide to the Early Years website. And there's a real array of training for the early years on the Early Years website training page. Thank you and good luck.